Although I still have some videos of Danny to do, I decided to do some of Maylor's recordings. Early on in the presentations, I mentioned that Maylor was a rescued budgie that came to us almost 10 years after Victor died. This is one of his many recordings. It's a full reversal, which means the entire forward part was transcribed as it was, and then it was reversed, and the reversal was transcribed in the exact order it came. So in the forward part of 1, Maylor says, "Hear this warning. We're not stopping this movement. Little budgies dream like you. The theories of Sigmund Freud are evolving. As we look at them, they'll help us to cross the river and rescue everyone. Prepare to travel while Ryan's budgies have been elected to seek other philosophies. In this gathering, we'll seek everything that helps you spiritually while we learn, reversing evil. Heaven can give a prophecy and make history as long as the source emanates from God." So this kind of shocked me when I first heard Maylor mention Freud, because he was a pioneer in dream transcriptions or translations. The basics being that dreams come from our subconscious mind and help us to understand ourselves better. However, Maylor says that his theories are evolving here, more or less meaning that some can come from God and provide prophecy, and that we should seek out other philosophies that support this as long as the source emanates from God. In part 2, Maylor says, "When we try to allow compassion, it really works. We must connect spiritually to heaven to show the quantum work of God's intervention. It's kind of like sci-fi, but camera-free. Many will see it's filled with prophecies for changing time. Everybody, you must seek God. If you read me, be a keen observer here. We know prophecies of Ryan can often come with a vision or dream. Nobody can be at risk when I'm right. What angels do will never claim your soul. My mentor saw these prophecies and visions. Can we pray here for this project of prophecy?" So in this part, Maylor clearly mentions that they want to show the quantum work of God's intervention. So I want to discuss it further and talk about the quantum work of God. In past presentations, for example, in Victor's The Spiritual Body, we talked about some of these things. Number one, According to some calculations, atoms are made up of 99.9999999% of empty space rather than solid matter. As a matter of fact, if you took the empty space out of a human body, you would end up with solid matter that would be equal to about the size of a speck of dust. And if you took the empty space out of all humanity, it would be equal to about the size of a couple of marbles. In essence, the human body is held together by sound waves, light waves, and magnetic waves. Everything in existence is held together by these same waves. All these waves cause vibrations within the atoms that make up the quantum world. In addition, all waves are connected in the physical and metaphysical world, and reality exists within certain frequency spectrums of these waves. Our consciousness and spiritual existence can be compared to a drop of water that falls into an ocean. By itself, it is separate, or it can become part of the whole when it merges with it. In our reality, we are only able to experience a tiny area of light and sound on the frequency spectrum that exists for us as humans. So if you think about it, most people are only able to interact with about 0.0000001 of matter, and within that percentage, we are only able to see and hear about 5% of that 0.0000001, which is almost nothing. So you can imagine what exists in everything we cannot see or hear, unless we train our minds like we are doing here to access these other senses. So part 3 starts off with the end of the forward mode, and he says, for the next gathering will be free of, and then the reverse starts. And he says, will be free of fear that's reversed by comets from God. When you seek out prayer, you bring the angels who cover you with their love. In our kingdom, love exists in everything. Yes, people, you are greater through projects of love that help humanity. And there will be many who will arrive to help during loss of life. We'll challenge them in heaven, as each prophecy will have a mission with God's intervention. Yes, everything is different when angels help Earth to prevent suffering. And he says, in the part where he says we'll challenge them, I believe he's talking about where there are loss of life. Now you can hear that part. You know, one of the common things you'll hear when you ask people if they believe in God or not, the ones that don't usually say they cannot believe in a God that would let all this pain and suffering happen all over the world. One of the common things that the angels are saying is that the only way God can help humanity is through people. And people have a choice spiritually to help humanity. When they do, this enriches their soul and helps them to spiritually evolve to the next level of human evolution. So now God and the angels are here to assist people and help them to spiritually evolve, for they believe much of humanity is ready to move on to the next level, which is closer to God. In the final part 4 of the reverse, Maylor says, these angels speak to God and know where budgies can help with prophecies of survival. If you believe that these prophecies extend practices up in heaven, you'll agree that there's a stronger force that we count on to reverse the evil. The challenge is to believe in God. Spiritual evolution is everything we learn during this event. We want to show you a religion that gives confidence in spiritual evolution. And the message is, more love in this world shall be of value. It solely shall be the vision of survival. Can you help everyone who shares the same vision? Each catastrophe in the world shall be mentioned before the day. In closing, I'd like to say that mentioning catastrophes in the future is a very big responsibility that the angels are taking on, and even a bigger one for those who will have to pass the information on to others so they can find a way to resolve them with less pain and suffering. All three of my budgies have mentioned this. In one of Victor's recordings, he talks about having budgies all over the world connecting through this religion and reporting these events so there'll be less pain and suffering. They call themselves sentinels of the future, and we need to get things moving on this soon. However, without the people here and the support, it may take longer than needed. If we could have got this going a year or two ago, then we may have been able to prevent the terrible disaster in New Zealand, where innocent people were brutally massacred while at church. Like Maylor said, perhaps this sounds like sci-fi, but the truth is, you are experiencing reality here and now, and even some of the most fantastic movies out there do not compare to what's happening here. This completes this presentation. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to join us, you can come to theangelscrolls.com and click onto the forum link at the top, where we will be adding the newest presentations. Bye for now.